Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today I'm reviewing a revamped new cigar. Some of you are familiar with Emilio cigars. They were been around a while, and they sort of basically disappeared. But James Brown and the Black Label trading folks decided to revamp it, bring it back. So this is the Emilio AF1 Toro. Now, a little bit about this cigar. This was originally made, came out in 2011. One of the first cigars. There's an AF1 and an AF2. This is the AF1 we're reviewing today in the Toro size. I will also review the AF2 in the Toro size. The difference is the AF1 uses a Mexican San Andreas wrapper over Nicaraguan Habano binder and Nicaraguan fillers. It comes in three sizes, a Robusto Toro and Grand Toro, which is 6x58, compared to the AF2, which uses an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper over Nicaraguan Habano binder and fillers from Nicaragua. It comes in four sizes, Corona, Robusto Toro, and Grand Toro. Another interesting point is the AF1 is a wee bit more money. No, let me just give you the example. The Toro that I'm reviewing today suggested retail price is $10 in the AF1. In the AF2, it's $9.50. No, it's not a lot of difference. Now, originally, these cigars back in 2011 were made by A.J. Fernandez. They just sort of, not a lot happened with it. It's a very boutique cigar in Nestle in Nicaragua. So it's good that James Brown and those guys, Ovea Negra, are bringing it back. So let's get right to it. The new, revamped Emilio AF1 Toro. Very dark cigar. Now, if you notice in the intro I showed you, this is the main part of the band, E, big E. Looks like something on a eye test chart. And then there you see where it says AF1. Oh, did we get to the density? There we are. Now, I would call that a pretty average feel in the hand for a 6x50. It's not bad. Just let's give her a cut here and see if it draws. Yes, it does. Very good. Well, the first flavors I'm getting are a cedar, sort of a dry cedar, light blackberry notes attached to it, sweet dark chocolate, brown sugar, espresso. There is a touch of cinnamon there, quite a bit of black pepper at about 7.5 to 8. But the thing you're going to notice is it has nice flavors. You know, you got your, and it's just how I described the dry cedar and light blackberry. But the sweet dark chocolate is nice, and the espresso is in a massive amount. That is half of the flavors on the scale. Everything else takes up the first half. The second half is all espresso. It's very high in espresso. So that's how we start. Let's see what we have by the first third. Whoops, wet, first third. Whoops, put it back here. And you know what? It's as cigars do, they tend to settle down. So the espresso is much more toned down by the first third. Actually, way back there, but I didn't come back. But by the first third, the espresso is toned down. Still plenty of it, but it's not so massively in your face as it was. Now we still have the cedar, and it's sort of a dry cedar. You still have a little bit of those blackberry notes, but I'm getting a richness now, a little buttery richness on the front end. Still have some brown sugar and some cinnamon, nutmeg. I don't think I mentioned that on the first in the first segment, but you definitely have nutmeg in the mix, and a sweet dark chocolate. But the flavors are nice. There is that richness there, though, to that very front end cedar, like blackberry, brown sugar, or cinnamon. There's some richness there, which is nice. The finish is sort of brown sugar and some of those blackberry notes. Huh, that's interesting. A little bit of nutmeg on the finish also. Nice lingering black pepper. Cigar is coming across as medium to full bodied, probably because of all this darkness. But this is a pretty good start for this cigar for the first third. I'm starting the scoring off at 92. It's pretty darn good. Those of you who like a sweet dark noted cigar might want to think of this so far. But that's where we are at the first third. So let's power on through the second third. Well, here at the end of the second third. And the cigar is changing, not for the better. It's, well, let's see here. I've actually lost a lot. I lost a lot of the cedar and a lot of the blackberry and the richness. And there is some bitterness in the cigar, which wasn't there before. It still has some sweetness, and the chocolate it still has some sweetness to it, but it's gone downhill a little bit for me. Bitterness is never good. The cigar is very close to full bodied, and I need to remove this band really quick before I say much more. There we go. The flavors have just sort of regressed for me. It's the first third was extremely enjoyable, and 92 shows that. But it's lost a lot of the overall appeal that the first third had. Second third, I'm dropping it at 89. This is not the direction I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it go, but it has. Finishes. There's a little brown sugar and nutmeg. Lingering pepper is still pretty good. Let's just see. It could just be something here in the middle, but let's see what the final third brings. Okay, we're down to the end, so let's wrap it up. Boy, this cigar really changed. It started out really nice and just kind of, boy, from the second third, final third. Here in the final third, you're left with a little residue of what I'll call that blackberry note. Just a sampling, sprinkling of brown sugar, dark chocolate, which has some sweetness, and the espresso. Full body, pretty much full bodied. Finish is pretty much unchanged. It just lost the majority of what it had in the first third, and I'm not a fan of that. It's dark noted, but it doesn't have enough sweetness to hold my attention. For the final third, I would lower it to 87. It just went really south for me. So, what does that give you? An overall score of 89.33. The first third is really good. So, I don't know if a little more time would do these any good. They've been around a month or so, but we do have the AF2 coming up. We'll see how that works out next weekend. But that will do it. It's just lost a lot. So there you have it, the new revamped Emilio AF1 Toro, 89.33.